All right, what's going on, friends? I finally got my new e-bike, a Himiway fat tire bike. And in this video, I'm just going to do a real quick unboxing and try to give you a few tips on how to put this thing together. I know there's a lot of videos out there showing you how to put these together, but I know when I did put it together, there was a couple of things that I didn't see anybody else point out. So real easy things, but I think it'll help you out. So just keep watching the video, and then I might do a real quick ride at the end and tell you what I think. All right, let me start my quick unboxing, and I'm gonna do a quick assembly video. There's a lot of assembly videos on YouTube of this same bike, but I am gonna try to figure out some of the spots that people are having trouble with and show you a way to make it easier. So unless it just all goes really super easy, we'll find out. But first I'm gonna start off with a pair of cutters and a utility knife. Then when we get into the other tools, I'll let you know what I'm using. If you decide to buy one of these, don't be in a big rush, because it took about 2 months to get here. Now maybe if things start getting better in this country, maybe it'll come faster, but right now everything seems to take a real long time. And as you take things apart, make sure maybe you inspect them a little bit for damage. That looks really nice. When you cut these zip ties off, if you cut really close, you could reuse them. Like this zip tie, I cut real close to it, so now I can pull that end out and I can reuse it if I need it on this bike. There's my first tip. This is the fender, which does not come standard on most of these bikes. This is one of the reasons I picked this Himiway. I don't know if, I still feel like I'm gonna fix these a little bit though, because nothing against some of you guys that are a little older, but it just kind of makes it look like an old man's bike to me, but I think I'm still gonna use them. I don't know, we'll see. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, because I think only maybe like 2% of the people that watch my videos subscribe. Yeah, we'll see if I can try to make these look different. Things are huge. All right, there's your second tip. When it comes in the box, I did not see anybody on YouTube telling you that you're gonna wonder why you can't get your handlebars out of there. Well, you have to take your seat off and then get your handlebars out. The brakes are kind of stuck in between your seat and the front of your bike here. So you have to take the seat out to get them out. I'm gonna open this box up, show you what comes in this box. So far I got the front fender, a rear rack, and then this part and this box. This is all that came in that big box you seen there in the beginning. And we'll have our front axle to hold the front tire on. If I don't use the right technical term, I apologize. And you get this really sweet hat. And it does come with some bolts and nuts and some real small little black zip ties. And here's the free little tool that it does come with. And I think you can actually put your whole bike together with this tool. But if you have a few tools in your house, it's probably going to be a little easier, but you could probably just carry this with you in case something happens. I think this piece here goes back to protect that derailleur. You got your directions. This is your charger, which I'm going to take that battery off and start charging it while we sit here and put the rest of this together. So it will be maybe charged up and I can try it out. a set of keys right here on the back of the seat. You gotta cut them off so I can get that battery off. That's pretty much all these keys I think are for, is to get this battery off. I think you can charge this while it's on the bike, but it's gonna be easier to put it together without this battery on there. All right, when you first get your bike, if you wanna plug your battery in while you're putting it together, it's probably not gonna take too long to charge because it seems to come, and it already says it's almost fully charged, but it is charging some because there's a red indicator light, and when this is fully charged, that will be green. So hopefully by the time I'm done putting this together, or maybe an hour from now, it'll be 100% fully charged up. This is everything that came in the box. Got my light, pedals, that piece there that protects the derailleur, your little tool, the seat, that holds on your front tire. Then you got your rear rack, your front fender, that fancy, super fancy hat, and the battery, the charger, and a little bag of bolts and nuts, and this manual, which looks like a really nice manual. These are the tools that I end up using. I use an 8mm, a 10mm, a 15mm, and then I have 4 Allen wrenches that I end up using. I use this 2.5. The only reason I use this was to adjust the little computer that's on it. So if you don't adjust your computer or the speedometer, you won't need that. I used a 3mm, 4mm, and a 5mm Allen wrench. And then it's just some side cutters to cut all the zip ties off, and a number 2 Phillips. And I used my utility knife just for a little bit. You probably don't really even need that. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is take out these 4 screws here, and that's with the 4mm Allen. I'm gonna install this, but I'm not gonna put these on real tight yet, because I want to sit on this kind of and adjust these later to see what angle I want. And I gotta adjust this screen. It's angled way too far down. There is a USB plug in there that you can charge a phone up with, and right now I don't think you can plug anything into it. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is put my front tire on so I can get this up and on its kickstand while I work on the rest of it. The front tire, you got to take this plastic cover off. It should just pull off there, just like that. Now, if you have help, it would be easier to do this. Make sure when you go to put your tire on, you got the brake on the side where your brake is. So you pick that up, pop that out, and I'm gonna slide this over, and I'm gonna pick this up, and it should go. Go. Now I can put my kickstand down. Now, it could still fall, so be careful. Make sure that's seated all the way down on both sides. Now we're going to put this through there. See how that's all on there, the way these springs are on there. Okay. One spring goes on one side, and the other spring's going to go on the other side. You're going to have to take this end off and take this spring off. That spring's going to go on the same way you just took it off. This little lever is going to go on the same side as your brakes. So put that spring on and screw that back on. Now you're just going to keep screwing that on there. Pull this up till you think it's tight enough. Like that seems too loose. And another tip I think is to put this up and not down. I think less likely something will hit that and loosen that up. I think a little bit tighter. All right, that looks good. All right, I'm going to put my seat back on. Doesn't really probably matter when you put that back on. The seat is going to be the same way as that tire. I need to tighten that up a little bit. All right, next thing I'm going to do is put my pedals on. Now, it looks like on the end of these, there's an L and an R. So the L is going to go on the left side, and the left one is going to be like lefty-tighty. That doesn't even make sense, but you're going to turn it on. That way your pedals don't come unscrewed while you're trying to pedal. So we'll put that one. That one's normal, or that's just like backward thread. And then we can put the right one on, and that's going to be a normal thread. And it's a 15 millimeter. Just be careful, because I went and grabbed a wrench, but when I get that on there tight, it kind of gets, my wrench is a little thick. Like I said, just be careful. My normal 15 millimeter wouldn't fit in there. I think I found my new wrench for my bike, because it's really good and thin. I don't think I'll ever need that 15 millimeter when I'm on the road, but. All right, next piece I'm going to put on is this derailleur guard. Goes right here. You got to take these two screws out. It also is a 4 millimeter. Put that cable right between there. You have to pull on that a little bit. Now I'm going to put the rear rack on. So you're going to have to cut the rear tail light. It should be zip tied here if it came like mine did. So cut that off. And you're also going to need these two little screws. They look just like this. They're real coarse threads. They look like they're made to go in plastic. So get them two screws. Cut this zip tie. Rack is going to go on here like this. So I think it's going to be easier to connect this light first. That light is going to go on there just like that. Because if you put your rack on, then put your light on, it's going to be a pain in the butt. There's 4 holes back here. I don't think it really matters what 4 you use. I'm going to use the 2 on the inside, I guess. I just have a number 2 screwdriver. Put one screw in kind of loose. That way you can get your other screw started easy. Don't turn that too tight because it's only plastic. I'm going to lay that there upside down. If yours came like mine, you're going to have to take these 4 screws out to get that on, which is nice because I was seeing with some of the first models, they didn't have these in and they were coming painted shut. I'm going to get these 2 out over here. Make sure that wire is in between there. So I think I'm going to zip tie that to it. This is another thing. It might be a little easier if you have 2 people. So put those 2 on and the 2 on the other side. All right, now I'm going to put the front fender on. You're going to need this bracket. That's how you're going to hook your light on. And then there's 2 little screws. They're going to go in here. The 2 little ones with 2 locking nuts on them. And there's 2 washers on them. They're for the bottom. And you're going to need this other screw that takes an Allen wrench. It is a 5 millimeter. That's the one that's going to hook this top bracket on. And there's one little washer. Goes on like this. I'm going to put this bracket's going to go. I'm going to put this bracket on. Then this piece over top of the bracket and put that screw in there. And then the back side, I'm going to put that little washer and that little lock nut. These lock nuts have, like, you'll see a little bit of plastic inside. That's what a lock nut is, or that's the type I'm using here. So the washer and this lock nut. You can tighten that up with your 10mm wrench, your 5mm Allen. I don't recommend tightening this completely up until we get the other two on though. Now these bottom ones, you can take a 3mm and loosen this up right here if you have trouble getting that lined up. Now you're going to take your 4mm Allen, 8mm wrench, and washers right there on that side. All right, let me do the other side, then I'm going to check where this is at and we'll tighten it all up. All right, I got everything tightened up and it's all adjusted. If it doesn't seem like it's centered left to right, you can loosen this one up right here and this will slide in and out. So that will push this back and forth. So you just got to mess with it a little bit till you get that centered or your tire will rub. All right, my last thing I'm going to do is hook this light up. And it's looking like it's going to take this screw here, which takes a Phillips head. And this is another type of kind of like a locking nut. It's going to take that one. This is a 10mm here. Now you just want to plug your light in to this plug right here that should be hanging there. There's a little notch up inside this plug right here. So make sure you look inside there and you line it up with the other one. Or it looks like you can actually match two little arrows up. I have a little bit bigger black zip tie here at my house. I'm going to zip tie this right to this fork. All right, that's how you assemble your Himiway fat tire electric bike. Just don't forget to tighten them 4 screws that you had on your handlebars. Remember, I left them loose so that way I could see where I wanted my handlebars. Now I just tightened mine up and I'm ready to go. Just got to wait for my battery to be fully charged. I can put that in and go try this out. That's 2, 3. Now this is what it'll do right out of the box. Well, I hope that video helped you out putting together your Himiway bike. And I have to tell you, my first impression of this bike is it is a lot of fun. I've never had a electric bike, so this is my first one, and maybe down the road I'll buy something different for my wife and we'll do a couple reviews on a different one. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. God bless and have a great summer.